Welcome to this epic Armageddon battle report. This is a 3000 point game with me in Space Marines and Death Korps of Krieg. The lists are NetEA lists and there will be a link to NetEA website in the description below. Then let's look at the armies. First, Space Marines. Here's the list. So, first we have Tactical Detachment with Hunter, Lascan Razorback and Supreme Command. Then we have Devastator Detachment with Landrider and 3 Lascan and Razorbacks. Then we have Terminator Detachment with Chaplain and a Thunderhawk. Then we have Landspeeder Detachment with Librarian, Predator Annihilator Detachment with Hunter, Whirlwind Detachment, first pair of Thunderbolts, Warhound Titan, and second pair of Thunderbolts. Then let's look at the Death Korps of Krieg. Here is the list. First formation is a Flak battery, Trojans. Then we have 3 Macharius tanks. Then we have Infantry company with Gorgons and Regimental HQ with Gorgons. The Infantry company also has 3 Limandros demolishers. Then we have 2 Death Rider companies, Heavy Mortar battery, second Flak battery with Trojans, Deathstrike silo, and Grenadiers with Centaurs. And that's the Krieg army. Then let's look at the deployment. The objectives are marked with red squares, and the garrisons are Flak and Mortars for Krieg and Landspeeders for Marines. So Marines have one flank with Predators, then Devastators. In the center we have Warhound and Tacticals, and then Whirlwinds with Landspeeders in front. For Krieg we have Regimental HQ at the back, then Macharius, Grenadiers, and one flank is the Infantry company. The Death Riders are put around the Regimental HQ and Grenadiers to protect them from possible air assault by Terminators. And then we start the game. First, Marines win initiative, but let Krieg go first. And Krieg start with Deathstrike silo, which sustain fires and kills 1 Whirlwind. Marines then take Warhound and double, and the Warhound runs to take some cover from the forest from possible enemy attack and fires at the Flak in the center, killing 2 units. Then Krieg take heavy mortars and they sustain fire, targeting Landspeeders, killing 2 of the skimmers. There we go. Marines respond with Whirlwinds and sustain fire. They target the second Flak formation, managing to destroy 1 Flak unit and Trojan. There we go. Then the Flak try to activate but hold and get 1 blast marker and break, so they withdraw to the forest there. Then it's Thunderbolt 1, which makes ground attack now that the enemy is neutralized, and it targets the Grenadiers, destroying 2 Centaurs. Now Flak 1 then marshals and moves a bit ahead. I don't have video for that. And then the Thunderbolt, second Thunderbolt pair attacks the broken Flak and destroys the 2 Flak units. Then it's the Krieg again, and Grenadiers, which marshal. They move a bit forwards and remove all the blast markers. There we go. Then it's Marines, and Tacticals decide to open up from the center and move forwards with double. They target the heavy mortars, but are unable to do more than 1 blast marker, so no damage. Then it's Macharius from Krieg. They double ahead, pulling this towards the center, and fire at the Warhound, removing its shields. Then it's Devastators from Marines, which double on the road, and they fire at Macharius, doing 1 point of damage to 2 different tanks. Then it's from Krieg, Regimental HQ, and they double, going towards the Warhound, and troops jump out of the Gorgons. Now the one Gorgon also fires its Mortars at the tactical detachment, and here's the effect: 2 units are killed. So then, retaining, the Death Rider company engages the Warhound, and they can't reach into the close combat, so they use their firefight, which is poor. But since the Regimental HQ moved before into the support fire position, they have plenty of firepower to wipe the Warhound out. And that is exactly what happens, and Warhound also fails to hit anything, so no casualties for Death Korps. Then it's Landspeeders, which advance, jumping into the flank, and they fire but do no damage. However, they give blast marker, and retaining, the Thunderhawk then makes its attack, and Terminators jump out and engage the intermingled Regimental HQ and Death Riders in the close combat. And then the Krieg countercharge to get more units within firefight range. However, Terminators do what Terminators do best, and while the Marines lose the Thunderhawk, the Krieg lose the combat and a lot of units, and the rest break and run. The Regimental HQ going into the forest, and Death Riders towards the hill on the Marine side. Then it's Krieg and Infantry company, which doubles, doing something similar as Regimental HQ in the other flank. So they move to the center towards the Marines and jump out, and the Lehman Russ demolishers open fire as well as one of the Gorgons, and they destroy 2 units and Razorback. Then it's Predators, which advance, taking up positions behind and targeting the infantry, and managing to destroy 2 Lehman Russ demolishers and doing 1 point of damage to the Gorgon. There we go. So it's the Krieg and Death Riders engage. Again, same thing as in the other flank, so Death Riders go into firefight with the massive support of the infantry company. And similarly, the Marines lose the combat, and 2 Devastators survive and fall back, while killing 3 Death Riders. And here's the overview at the end. So the center is being held by the Krieg, while Marines are trying to prevent their attack. In the flank, Terminators destroyed. So Terminators destroyed their opponents. So in the end phase, Death Riders fail the rally and they move into the forest. Regimental HQ rallies. The one that fails the rally is the Flak, but they don't really move much. So here's again the situation of the rally movements. Center is being held by the Krieg, while Marines are trying to push in from the flanks. Terminators and Landspeeders on one end and Predators on the other, while Whirlwinds are being threatened by the rallied Regimental HQ. So, on to turn 2. The Marines win initiative again and decide to go first this time. Tacticals first to advance. They withdraw from the Infantry company to the second building and fire at the Regimental HQ. However, they don't manage to do any damage. Retaining, the Whirlwinds sustain fire, targeting the Death Riders and Infantry company in the center, and they do enough damage to break the Death Riders, which then withdraw, but keep within the AA fire from the center. Then it's the Krieg and Grenadiers, which double. The 2 Grenadiers that lost their Centaurs first, just moving, and the rest using the transports. Then they fire at the Terminators and actually manage to kill 2 and break the formation. So Terminators withdraw to ruins. Then it's retaining from Krieg and Macharius' sustain fire, targeting the Predators. However, only one of the tanks is destroyed. Then Space Marines and Devastators do engage. They attempt to get the Death Riders into firefight and try to wipe the formation out. However, that doesn't go as planned, and they are wiped out instead, causing no damage to Death Riders. Then heavy mortars from Krieg, which requires a commander to help, and they sustain fire, doing just 1 blast marker and nothing else. Then Thunderbolts attack and manage to kill the last Flak unit and break the remaining 2 Trojans, which move out. Then from Krieg, Infantry company, which holds, removes blast markers. Then from Marines, the Thunderbolts fail. Second pair of Thunderbolts fails, come aboard, and then it's the Regimental HQ, which engages the tactical. First, Gorgon charges into base-to-base contact, and then 2 infantry jump out. And the last ones just run towards the enemy. And the tacticals got to charge into base-to-base contact and manages to destroy the Gorgon and inflict casualties, and only one, the fearless Regimental HQ Supreme Commander, survives with jump commissar. Then it's the Landspeeders, which double and give blast marker to the Deathstrike silo. And the Deathstrike silo, which then tries to activate but fails and holds, removes the blast markers. Then it's Predators, which advance, destroying the last Trojans. There was a slight mistake, as the Deathstrike silo couldn't have tried to Overwatch, and the hold should have been used to move and not remove blast markers. However, irrelevant at this point. So that's what looks at the end of the turn 2. Still, the center is being held by Death Korps, while Marine are trying to flank from both edges. The Death Riders in Marine end rally, which is a problem for Marines. Regimental HQ doesn't. but only one unit, so it doesn't really matter that much. Terminators rally. The lone unit there doesn't. The heavy mortars fail to rally, but the rest rally, except the Death Riders in the other flank as well, which fail and move into the forest. So turn 3, and Marines start with Whirlwinds and sustain fire, targeting the just rallied Death Riders, killing a lot of them, and the rest break and move to the other forest to get away from the Marines. Then retaining the Thunderbolt 2 makes a ground attack which requires Supreme Commando's help, and they target the Grenadiers, but manage to only kill 1 Centaur and 1 Infantry. Then the Grenadiers advance, the Centaurs moving fast, creating a crossfire with the Deathstrike silo, and the Infantry just get within range to fire. And they do nice damage, wiping the land speeders out. So then it's Deathstrike silo, which tries to sustain fire and fails to activate. Then it's Marines and Thunderbolts, which target the heavy mortars, kill 1 and break them. Then Macharius, which double, moving towards the tacticals in the center, and manages to destroy the hunter from there. Retaining the infantry company then engages. And here we go, the troops jump up into the building, while the second Gorgon from the back decides to pick up the troops and just move forwards, since they can't get into the range and loss. There we go. And the battle goes bad for Marines, which are wiped out. And the Krieg lose 1 Gorgon and 1 infantry unit. However, this seals the Krieg's fate, as Marines realize that they can actually now win the game. The Terminators first double, taking control of objective on both the Krieg side and Marine side, as there is nobody now holding those. And Predators also double, taking control the objectives on the other end. This leads to a situation where Marines have taken hold and defend the Flak, while Krieg only has break their spirit, and Marines win by 2-1. And this is how it looks in the end. So Infantry and Macharius is holding the center, while Marines take the flank objectives and win the game. So there we have Predators taking 1, and center being, there is the broken heavy mortars and Grenadiers, which cleared the blitz, and there is the Terminators holding the last 2 objectives, and the final objective is being held by the Whirlwinds. So that's it. I hope you like the game. And the music is made by Kevin MacLeod, and the software I've used to create this video is there. Thanks for watching. Bye!